Alright, this is Hollow Knight. I figured since, you're not even gonna be able to play this, as just, I mean, let's face it, you're not that good at games. I figured I might as well just, uh, at least show you a little bit of the game, see if it interests you at all, because it is an interesting game. You're probably not gonna play it, but it'd be cool to watch it. I mean, Chase streams, so maybe I can just record some gameplay. You watch that, get involved at least a little bit, if not directly. Game. So this is the game. I already know a lot about it. As you can see, like just I know where pretty much everything is. I've played this game so many times, and I'm gonna work through some things pretty quickly. But I'll explain stuff along the way as I go. I won't skip through absolutely everything. But you play as this little bug creature. He doesn't really have a name. It's just a bug creature. You don't really know anything about him until much later, and even then, the story is cryptic as a whole. But it's not really about the story. The gameplay is just fun. I mean, I personally like the story as well, but like I said, it's not really about that. So you'll see when I hit enemies this top right or in the top left hand corner next to the little 35 number, the giant thing with the eyes in it. When I hit an enemy, it fills up a little bit, and that's my soul. And later I can use that to cast spells that hurt enemies, but let's say I damage myself, and use some of that to heal. And that's the whole healing mechanic of this game. It's about balancing, like let's say I'm fighting a boss, it's about balancing when I attack to get fill that soul versus when to run away and heal. If I even have time to. A lot of times you don't, because the fights are really fast paced. It can be really difficult sometimes. Little blue thing I just hit gives me those little masks that I have right there, which are essentially ghost health. So if I lose it, it goes away forever. And the white ones I can heal. It's just those blue ones right there that are like dripping. I can't heal those. I can only get those from those little blue blobs that I hit. The stuff that I'm collecting is Geo. It's like essentially the game's money I can use to buy stuff. Need to explain a whole lot of that. The charm that I just picked up, and when I'm sitting on a bench, which is essentially the game's save points, you can save whenever, but you have to sit on a bench to do it. I can use that time to. That's one of my map updates. If I have the map for a certain area, I can equip charms, which give me special abilities like this Fury of the Fallen. If I only have 1 HP left, I think I'll do like twice as much damage to enemies or something like that. Just little things that give you an edge in the game. They're not really game breaking. I've already been through this area. Just had to pick up the charm, so I have to go back through it. Here we go, our first little town. Yes, this is the bench I was talking about. Like I'm here, I can press this button. It'll open up this menu. I have a certain amount of notches, as you can see right there. Underneath equipped. Each charm has a certain amount of notches that it takes. You can see it says cost and then 2 circles. I have 3 to begin with. You pick up more as the game goes on. You can equip any number of charms, as long as you have the notches for it. But right now, this is the only charm that I have. Oh. Just use that. Hello. This is essentially just the game's, resting town. This is where you like buy items and things like that. It's kind of the hub of the game. I don't visit it very often unless you have to buy something. There's not really a whole lot to actually find there. Forgotten Crossroads. This is like our first place. It's kind of like an introduction, kind of. We'll see as it goes on. It's like important things happen here, but for the most part, just kind of like an introduction. I like how you can destroy the background of certain things. And this game is really interactive. Like the developers did a really good job of understanding what makes a fun game. I mean, like I said, it was only 2 guys that made this, and then the Christopher Larkin was the one who did the music, so I guess you can count him, although he wasn't like an actual developer. So only 3 guys made this. One of them was animation stuff, and then one of them was like the actual game's coding. So there are certain enemies in this game that, because they're bigger, do some more damage, and it takes 2. They do 2 masks of damage. That's pretty much it. That little thing that I just hit right there is a worm. Those are scattered throughout the game and like stuck in these little glass orbs, as you saw. If I free them, there's like a certain like father, like a little grub father that is like sad because he's missing his kids. So you can just go bring them back, and he gives you rewards for them. Little things like that. Basically, like a hunting mission. I mean, a lot of this you'll figure out just by watching or playing. I mean, you're not really playing, so figure it out by watching. There's another one up there that I can't quite get yet. See that guy. I'm kind of just breezing through the beginning of this, like I said, because I've gotten pretty good at this game, and I know everything really that there is. I can make it challenging. There's a boss that I can get to right now that I'm not supposed to until much later, but I don't want to die and have to go all the way back because he is pretty challenging. Because I'm supposed to have an ability to fight him, and I don't yet, so I'm just gonna go the normal way. I can beat him without that ability, but I'd rather not do that. Hello there. Come down to explore these beautiful old ruins? Don't mind me. I have a fondness for exploring myself. I'm not gonna keep reading that, but the characters in this game kind of all have their noises, specific noises that you can associate them with, and it kind of gives them a personality. It's pretty nice. They're not just like text. And you can listen to their voices and kind of judge their personalities from there. They did a really good job with that because they're bugs. Giving them human voices would be weird. I think. Depends from person to person. So you can buy maps from this guy for a certain amount of geo, which the money. And what he does is as soon as you buy the map for that certain area, he gives you like a crude map. Walk around the whole map, it's really cool. And if you sit on a bench, the main character will like fill in all the places that you've been, and you can buy later like pins and certain things that mark certain areas. So the map gradually fills in. It's not like you're just buying a full blueprint of the place. It's really rough, so you still got to figure out where to go. If you ever get lost, you still have thing that helps you out. And as you can see, it doesn't even tell me where I am yet. There's a pin that I can buy for that, but I kind of just have to memorize the layout still, so it doesn't do everything for you. This is a hot spring. You can use it to just refill. It's like a break essentially. Use it to refill your soul, which is that meter in the top left that fills up when I hit people. Refill your masks or your hearts. There's not a whole lot of them, but they're kind of nice when you get past them. Even though I just got hit. These enemies really are not that challenging either. Things get a little more difficult later on. Really the most difficult thing about this game is just the bosses. Some of them are just hard. Especially when they have different versions that you can go back and fight. I don't really care about that. Bit of geo that was down. That geo. So in here, this is like a little pit stop, I guess you can call it. What I can do is, when I pay a toll, I can ring a bell, and then this guy comes here. So I can, whenever I go to different areas and unlock these different stations, I can go to It's kind of like a fast travel system. Like if I've already gone to this place, I can just head back to that. So instead of having to travel through the whole world, I can just head there pretty quickly. Pretty basic, but I like how they even give him like a personality. It's really just all the little touches. So he hasn't filled in anything in the map yet because I haven't bought the pen from the shop from the map maker. His wife, you can buy things from her. I haven't bought anything yet because I haven't been up there. We'll get there. I'm explaining all this to you because I know you like knowing stuff. Always asking questions whenever you watch me play. So he did me for 3 damage, so I gotta use my entire meter up there. By default, it heals as like the capacity to heal 3. You can get some upgrades for it later. I don't have any of those right now. Uh-oh. That's kind of easy because I already know all of his attack patterns. He's the first boss of the game too, so not really much to go on. Not to take away from the excitement or anything, but there are some guys I really do struggle with in this game. It gets really difficult later. So yeah, first boss.
Namino, namino.
So this is one of the things I was talking about with the spells that you can release. You can use your, they call it spirits. It's basically just a spell. You can use that same soul that you used to heal to cast spells and do like damage from a distance kind of, or more damage, and depending on the spell. You get more later in the game. So this is like a training kind of area. I gotta defeat a thing. It's a type of enemy that I can only use, or that I have to defeat using my spell. Like it's the only thing that I can damage with it too. Gotta earn my way to it. It's like a little gauntlet. Usually on my first playthrough, I'd explored a lot more by now, and I found that already like the place that I have to use this. There's like a little one of the same creatures that you're gonna see me fight. One of them guarding the path to the next area where I need to go, and so I had to come. Oh, great! I had to come here eventually. I already know the path. Figured I won't waste a bunch of time. These things, so let's say I use some of my soul and I can hit these things, get it back. Oh, that guy didn't. So this is another one of those blue blobs that you saw from the beginning of the game. It gave me my soul hearts. Hit it. These little bugs pop out. Hit these bugs. Hit the bug. Get a little soul heart. This is the guy I was talking about. Because if I get up to him, he blocks himself in and I can't hit him. So I gotta stay away. He'll throw little guys at me. Oh, I'm bad. Which I can use to refill up my soul. And another charm. That was a guy that this guy wanted me to kill. She lets me go. So the charm that I have equipped right now, the Fury of the Fallen, not really useful. I want to get rid of it. So I want to put on Soul Catcher because it basically every hit that I do will get me a little bit more soul. So it won't take as many hits to, you know, be able to refill my health, get the soul I need to refill my health. So I want to use it, but I don't have enough notches. If I keep going, I can be overcharmed. What this does is it lets me have a charm that goes over the amount of notches that I would originally have, but I take twice as much damage. So any normal hit does 2 masks of damage. If you saw earlier, I got hit by one that did 2 masks, that would make it do 4. I don't really ever find a use for this. It's not like you can equip an unlimited amount of charms. You can only equip one charm that would make you go over. Fury of the Fallen, not really that useful. I'm gonna take that out. Just use Soul Catcher. So that's the beginning of the game. I think I'm gonna call it right there. It's probably a good first episode, good introduction to the game. Things get a lot more interesting from here on out. There's not a whole lot to the Forgotten Crossroads, but it's still pretty interesting nonetheless, I think. It gets a lot more interesting later in the game when you find out some of the lore and things get more challenging, but we'll get to that later. So, adios.